What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to a couple of subscribers for showing love to the channel. Much respect to the man, the myth, the legend, the brother Robert Mason coming through with the donation to the channel via the PayPal once again. Much respect to him for showing love to Too Raw for TV, aka Too Raw for Sports. Also want to give a shout out to the brother Nathaniel Hansen for the donation to the channel as well. Much respect to you for showing love to the channel. Now, in this particular video, I want to talk about Undisputed, and at this point, it doesn't make any sense now with Skip. I know Shannon's playing good cop or whatever, but I know it's just for an act. At this point, I just really don't understand it. I don't understand the constant irrational criticism of Russell Westbrook. And it's not just Russell Westbrook. I don't understand for the life of me why he cannot. He has, to me, even more than Stephen A. Smith. People like to talk about Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith's full of shit too. But this guy right here, Skip Bayless, has ruined sports talk. He has so many imitators out there. People who aren't really analyzing the game, but are throwing their opinions of players into their analysis. I'm just not a Russ guy. You know, I don't know. Steph just comes across to me. Who gives a fuck what he comes across to you as? Talk about what he's doing on the court. He's a mediocre fucking sports analyst who's found a niche to basically create more of a, I don't want to say political because it's not political, but what Skip has popularized is editorializing in sports. That was something that was relegated to sports pages. Whereas on television, these people used to just talk sports. Now, from time to time, they'll give an opinion on something that the player does, but now they've created these narratives, and the narratives is what's popular. People don't want to know the truth anymore. They just want to hear someone, because we become a polarized society, we become a more opinionated society, and it's spilled over into sports, which used to be a safe haven from these types of things. Now it's even penetrated, infiltrated, and putrefied sports. Now we got to deal with this crap in sports. So Skip hates on, Russell Westbrook. He hates on Luka Doncic. He hates on Steph Curry. He's been for all of his career, but it's been moderating lately. He's hating on LeBron James, but now he's sort of been cooling on that, and I know that's strategic as to why he's doing that. But anyway, he said that he just couldn't give Russ an A for his performance in the fight, in that series so far. In this series so far, he said he just can't give him an A. And he said even last night, without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard, he just can't. And his 6 turnovers they're just terrible turnovers. And I do agree that he turned the ball over a little bit too much. He did, and that's fair criticism to say that affected the outcome of the game. Okay, it's fair criticism, even though only one of the turnovers came in the second half when it really matters more. He took better care of the basketball in the second half. He shot well, 11 of 23 from the floor. He even shot well from the line, 5 of 6. Russ is actually inexplicably shooting nearly 90% from the line in the playoffs. 6 turnovers is a lot. Sure, it is. But Kevin Durant has 6 turnovers, but Skip conveniently omitted that. Skip also lied on Russell Westbrook earlier this month. I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, when he said that Russ was only shooting 44% as a Clipper. This is during the regular season. That's a lie. Russ shot 49% from the floor as a Clipper. But this is what Skip and Shannon do. They lie. Shannon the other day told everybody that Ja Morant's not a good shooter. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he's not a terrible shooter. That's not true. That's what they do. See, because Ja Morant's known for his athleticism and his dunking ability, therefore it's easier to pull off the myth that, oh, he's not a good shooter. Is he Steph or Clay? No, but he's not a terrible shooter. I mean, if you leave him open at the three-point line the entire game, he's probably going to nail 3 to 5 of those motherfuckers. But yeah, at the end of the day, without those two stars, the team is missing something. Okay, Russ, we clearly know he's not the same player. You cannot rely on Russ to always have these 38 and 12 games. He's not the Russell Westbrook of even 2 years ago, let alone 5 years ago. He's not the same player. We know that. So why do we put superstar? Why are we putting superstar expectations on Russ? It's the same thing they did in L.A. when he's playing with the Lakers. Excuse me. It's the same fucking thing. But nobody cares. They're just looking for flaws. The team had 18 turnovers. Nobody cares. So let me say this. Now I'll point out the hypocrisy. Remember when LeBron didn't have Kevin Love in the 2015 finals? Remember when he didn't have Kyrie for most of that finals? And everybody was praising him even though they lost. They said, well, what do you expect from the guy? He doesn't have his 2 best cohorts, right? He, even though he only shot 39% from the floor, 31% from 3, but because he went out there and went out on his sword, he got praise and adulation from everybody. Even Skip Bayless praised LeBron's performance, even though offensively he was a chucker and inefficient. His shooting numbers, 39%, 31%, 69% from the line, mimic Russell Westbrook. Russ goes out there, shoots 11 of 23, 3 of 7 from downtown, 5 of 6 from the line. The turnovers were a bit high, but he did have 12 assists, a 2-to-1 turnover ratio, and 8 rebounds. And nobody, except for a few of us, give him real praise. They don't care if he didn't have his 2 best. Matter of fact, they had the 2 best players were missing. With LeBron, the 2 sidekicks. They're 2 best players. 2 guys that are considered better than Russ at this point in time. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, not there. And somehow, some way, even with Russ's 6 turnovers, they stay in the game. If it wasn't for the fact that Devin Booker did what he had to do, and that is take care of business, knock down shots that he had to make because they were trying to, contain Kevin Durant. Even though I still think the double team thing ain't an excuse with Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not. Giannis gets double teamed every fucking game and puts up what he puts up. This guy had to deal with a wall, and people said he got to figure it out. He's won a championship, and people still say they're not impressed. Well, if they're not impressed with Giannis' championship, I don't give KD his fucking credit for those championships. I'm sorry. That's just how it's going to fucking be. If Giannis don't get credit for his championship and his finals MVP, I don't give KD credit for going on that team with the Warriors. Fucking coward. Because if you take away those Warrior years, he is Russell Westbrook. And even in those finals, when he was playing against the Cavaliers or playing against the Raptors, for the most part, KD was single coverage. It was Steph that was being double teamed and sometimes triple teamed. So KD should have put all those numbers up. The few times I've seen Giannis be single coverage this year, or single coverage in general, were against the Wizards, a team that he dropped, 55 points on? Against the Clippers, he dropped 54 points on. And whenever he go against the Suns, whenever he go up against the Suns, Giannis drops 40 to 50 points. Remember in the finals? after his leg got better, he started playing better and better, destroying DeAndre Ayton, single coverage, 50 points in the closeout. That's what happens when you single coverage Giannis, which is why he's always double teamed. Because if he wasn't double teamed, he would lead the league in scoring, and it wouldn't be close. If he was single coverage, like KD is all the time, Giannis would average 40 points a game. And I don't give a fuck what they say on Player's Choice. They can kiss my ass. Giannis would average 40 points a game if he was single coverage like these other guys.